Friends, Convocation June 2022 is about to begin. For all of our guests in Convocation Mall, please listen closely to a few important announcements for your enjoyment and safety during the ceremony. During the ceremony, guests should remain seated and keep the aisleways clear. This is required by fire regulation. In the case of an emergency evacuation, follow the directions of event personnel to the assembly point, which is located down the stairs behind you on the track and field outside the gym. Please proceed slowly and carefully. Those with accessibility needs should proceed to the Halpern Center located northeast of Convocation Mall. The weather today is perfect for convocation. There is a water station outside of Maggie Benston Center, which is on your right. Reuser water bottles are available for purchase at the Spirit Shop in Diamond Family Auditorium, which is on your right, if you forgot yours. SFU blankets and other gifts and mementos are also available for purchase from the SFU Spirit Shop in the Diamond Family Auditorium. In consideration of other guests, we ask that you refrain from conversation during the ceremony, and please put cell phones on silent. For those near and far, we encourage you to share your photos and messages on social media using #MySFUgrad. If you are able, please rise for the academic procession.
Siem, Sequitos, Siem to Siokuquachit, Chit Quanmontomi Sim to Glaquachit, Siem Squallow and Wait, Siem Sequitos to Cohost, Sequitos Chit, Quanmontomi Siem Squallow and Siem, Yotwan Hotchus Squallow and Wait, Siem Talt Nuas Wait, Siem to Insech Natum Wait, Siem to Chase to Meo T Squall, Quanmontomi Siem to Siem. First of all, thanking each and every one of you, our respected elders, our matriarchs, thanking you for arriving safely here in this beautiful village. That song we sang is called Iyait Yo Slolum, talks about journey in our canoe, the Cohost. We are the Cohost Squamish Ocean Canoe family, and we want to congratulate those who are graduating today. Talt Nuas Education, in Seich Natum Wait, protectors of our environment. Thank you for your discipline. Thank you for your extremely hard work and dedication. Thanking our Siem, our leaders of this beautiful institution that we are gathered here today. Again, thank you, our respected elders, our matriarchs, and thank you. Chinquanmontomi.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, President, Chancellor, SFU family, my family from the Squamish Nation for bringing their good medicine to us to start the afternoon. It's a great honor to have them here. And also thanking all the family of the students who are here. Congratulations, students, you've done a wonderful job. A quick prayer and we'll continue this event. Great Spirit, thank you for bringing us together today. Just bless each and every one of us here, and especially the people at home who weren't able to come and be present with you. I ask Great Spirit to bless the children as well, and a very special blessing on each and every one, all my relations, and thank you for inviting us.
Please be seated. Thank you for sharing that warm welcome, Elder Margaret. Elder Margaret is a member of the SFU Elders Program, and I'd like to take a moment to pay my respects to elders past and present. Thank you also to our cultural representatives from the Squamish Ocean Canoe family and the members of the world-famous SFU Pipe Band for opening this ceremony in a good way. Please join me in thanking them. It's an honor to be here today on the traditional, unceded, and continuously occupied territories of the Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Musqueam, and Coquitlam peoples. Indigenous languages became endangered in the last century as they were outlawed by successive governments. As a native English speaker myself, I speak these languages today to contribute to their revival and to enhance my own and our collective learning. In the shared territory on which our university sits, there are two Indigenous languages that were historically spoken. I recognize the Hunkaminam and Squamish-speaking peoples have been in relationship with this land since time immemorial, and the place names they use are linked to activities or the surrounding environment here. We're privileged to gather here on what is now known in English as Burnaby Mountain, but what was first known as Tlaklakwetan by the Squamish people, which means where the arbutus bark gets peeled in spring. Thank you. And Sawtooth is a Tsleil-Waututh place name for Burnaby Mountain. The motifs on the regalia that President Johnson and I are wearing today were selected by Squamish Hereditary Chief Janice George and Willard Buddy Joseph. The motifs represent the First Peoples and the food harvested right here on Burnaby Mountain. We are both deeply honored to wear this regalia as SFU, and indeed our country, continue on our collective paths towards reconciliation. I'd now like to invite Tori Killorn, a member of the SFU Pipe Band, who is graduating in today's ceremony, to lead us in a special piping, and we can therefore sing along, of O Canada. For those of you in Convocation Mall and online, please rise and join us if you're able, and bring your loudest voices to sing along with the bagpipes to our national anthem. Tori. That was impressive. Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to declare convocation assembled for the granting of degrees. Madam President, members of the Board of Governors and Senate, faculty, honored guests, and graduates, my name is Tamara Vrooman, and I am Chancellor of Simon Fraser University. We are delighted and honored to have you join us for this convocation. In attendance today are a number of distinguished guests in the audience and on the platform, including members of Senate, vice presidents, deans, and faculty. I'd like to acknowledge Dr. Nancy Turner, SFU honorary degree recipient, and her husband, Robert Turner, who will be conferred an honorary doctorate of laws this afternoon. Welcome. Joining us today also is Patrick Lougheed, President of the SFU Alumni Association, Marlene Moretti, SFU Outstanding Alumni Award recipient, our SFU alumni, legacy parents and families, and a special welcome to all of you here in Convocation Mall. There's also many who are joining us online, and for those of you who are joining us online, please indicate where you're joining us from in the chat. Honored guests, President Johnson, it's so wonderful to see all of your smiling faces here together again. You know, after the past 2 years, I don't think I will ever in my life tire of seeing the faces of people gathered in celebration for life's important moments and events, of which this is surely one. And to the graduates, well, you did it. You must be so proud. I know I am. I'm also inspired. This has been a very challenging time in which to study, to graduate, and most significantly, to plan for the future. But today, I don't want to dwell on what you had to endure to get here. Let's just say the world threw a few obstacles in your path. But you persevered. And now, after years of hard work, you join a long line of SFU graduates who have shaped this university and indeed our wider world. We owe you and all of those assembled here who helped you along the way a huge debt of gratitude. When I was in university, I majored in history. I loved it. It really helped me to make sense of things, why things were the way they were or why they weren't. I was tremendously inspired by the hard work, creativity, and compassion of the people and times I studied. I was inspired by their example of what it really takes to succeed and thrive. It motivated me to think of my own role in creating a better future for myself, for my family, for the businesses I'm privileged to lead, for my community and my country. Back then, I won't say how long back precisely, but suffice to say it was almost 30 years ago. British Columbia was a very different place. Almost 1 million fewer people lived in Greater Vancouver. The last residential school had only been closed for a few years. Same-sex couples were not allowed civil unions, much less a marriage license. There wasn't and had never been a Chinese-Canadian member of British Columbia's legislature. The Vancouver Club had just started admitting women. It's hard to believe. And the Canucks hadn't yet become a Stanley Cup dynasty. Oh, no, wait, that's not right. Poor Canucks. They have a hard time of it. My point is simple. At times, the world can look pretty messed up. Sometimes the challenges of the present can feel so daunting. It makes it difficult to imagine a clear path to a better future. But what I want to tell all of you graduating today is this is not a new feeling. I know from my studies that at many times throughout history, other generations have felt the same way. Yet through their perseverance, their resilience, many of the things that we build upon today are a result of their efforts and their vision. And when you put it in historical perspective, there's lots to celebrate. And you, the class of 2022, reflects so much about what is changing for the better. You are probably the most diverse, engaged, and connected SFU graduates in our history. Simon Fraser University is more inclusive, more sustainable, and more innovative because of you. You pushed us to confront the biggest challenges of our time, from climate change to the legacy of colonialism. You fought for better mental health care, more housing, and improved public transit. Generations of students will have you to thank for shortening their commute to Burnaby Mountain via the gondola. You helped build new businesses and bring important new ideas to market. You created astounding works of art, poetry, and literature. You joined the battle against a pandemic to help protect public health, whether through co-ops, volunteer work, or simply by looking out for those around you. And most importantly, you participated in an academic community committed to open inquiry and the free exchange of ideas. At a time of disinformation and increased polarization, the values you learned and applied here must surely endure. We should all want that. Graduates, you wrote your own chapter in SFU's history, and I'm here to tell you today it is a very good one. And now you'll go on to write new ones. Looking out at you all, I have tremendous confidence in you. Your generation will do great things. And as you do so, I want you to know that you will always belong to the ever-growing SFU family, made up of people from all walks of life and every part of the world, connected together by this extraordinary institution. So as you leave this ceremony today to celebrate your achievement, know that you are always welcome here at SFU. On behalf of everyone at our university, faculty, staff, alumni, fellow students, and supporters, I'd like to conclude by offering our heartfelt congratulations and wish you all the best for the future. Well done. It's now my privilege to call upon the president of our university, Dr. Joy Johnson, to give her address. Dr. Johnson.
Thank you. Madam Chancellor, thank you so much. It's such a privilege to stand before you today on the unceded traditional territories of the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh, the Coquitlam, and the Musqueam peoples. And as a settler on these lands, I recognize a responsibility to address and repair Indigenous relations with peoples whose lands we occupy. And acknowledging this is an important step toward reconciliation. Let me start by welcoming all of the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, and loved ones who have joined us today. It's so great to have you with us. And I'd like to extend a big welcome to our graduates from the Faculty of Environment and the Faculty of Education who are here today, and to extend my best wishes to those who could not join us and are here with us online. You are just incredible. Your spirit, your resilience, your dogged determination has reminded us all once again why we do this work, and why education and knowledge matter so much to our lives and to our world. I am grateful to Chancellor Vrooman for giving us some historical perspective today, and she's right. We have come a long way. At the same time, we still have many challenges to face: an ongoing global pandemic, racial injustice, democracy threatened in the Ukraine and around the world. And yet, here we are, grateful to gather together in person, grateful to celebrate the SFU community and each person who is a part of it. It's a tribute to the power of education, to change lives and to build community. At university, we work hard, you've worked very hard, to earn a credential. It's an enormous personal accomplishment, and you should be very proud. I trust that what you've studied at SFU will help you find successful and fulfilling careers. All of the evidence suggests that it will. What you have learned at university is in high demand right across our economy. But as important as that is, and it is very important, I also hope for something more. I hope that your time here has nurtured within you a sense of belonging, of common purpose, of community. Just think about it. When you applied to SFU, you did so on your own, at your own computer, one individual among many thousands hoping to get accepted to Simon Fraser University. Today, you graduate from SFU in communion with many of those same people, fellow graduates with a shared experience and with the tools you need to play a part in healing, repairing, and engaging the world. Over my life as a researcher, a professor, and university administrator, I have seen this awakening time and again, but never more so than in these last 2 years of real hardship and sacrifice, never more so than here at Simon Fraser University. Let me give you an example. Last month, we held our welcome back ceremonies for graduates who had attended convocation online due to COVID-19. They were held over a period of 3 days. On May the 5th, I shook hands of hundreds of grads as they finally crossed the stage in person. I stood up on stage and gave an address just like I'm doing today. And at the same time, in the Student Union building, just over here, members of the SFU Indigenous Student Centre and SFU First Nations Métis and Inuit Student Association had a table set up to share information and resources around the National Day of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two-Spirited People. I felt so privileged that on that day, to celebrate the work of our graduates who were already out in the world doing incredible things, we were also witnessing SFU students here on campus doing important healing and educational work for and within the SFU community. I want to take a moment to say thank you to our Indigenous Student Centre and to our First Nations and Métis and Inuit Student Association for their work in supporting Indigenous students at SFU. Of course, that's only one example among many. I am inspired by the graduate students from the Faculty of Environment who received over $650,000 from the Tri-Agency Scholarship and Fellowships to advance their research projects that address social justice, climate solutions, community resilience, reconciliation, indigenization, and so much more. I am inspired by the many projects submitted by students to the SFU Student Community Engagement Competition. Projects like Art for Comfort, which brings people together to create a virtual quilt that will hold communities, memories, hopes, and dreams. And the BC Newcomer Camp, which aims to provide free educational programs to help refugees adjust to their new homes. I'm inspired by the countless acts of kindness and empathy that I see in our community each day, by the work of the SFU staff and faculty who are so dedicated to creating a vibrant student learning experience. To put it simply, seeing all of you today, seeing the impact you have made on our community, and knowing the impact that you will make in the world, that makes our challenges feel small. It gives me hope. It inspires me like nothing else. And so, from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of everyone here at SFU, I want to say thank you and heartfelt congratulations to our graduates.
Thank you very much, President Johnson. SFU's honorary degree is the highest honor conferred by this university. Degrees are awarded to distinguished individuals in recognition of their scholarly, scientific, or artistic achievement, or in recognition of exceptional contributions to the public good through professional or philanthropic activity. Their achievements celebrate our university's values and serve as an inspiration. They are role models to our students, graduates, alumni, and community. The honorary degree will now be conferred. To present the honorary degree candidate, Mr. Robert Turner, I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Dana Leprovsky. Dr. Leprovsky is a professor in the Department of Archaeology at Simon Fraser University. Dr. Leprovsky.
Engaging and sensitive, meticulous and scholarly, beautiful and comprehensive. Madam Chancellor, these are the frequent adjectives used by reviewers to describe the richly detailed historical writings of Robert Bob Turner, an internationally recognized heritage consultant and an authority on BC and Northwestern transportation history. Raised on southern Vancouver Island, Mr. Turner studied geography at the University of Victoria and earned a Master of Science in Community and Regional Planning from UBC in 1971. By then, his passion for transportation history was already in full flame. Fascinated by the Canadian national trains that passed by his childhood home, he'd begun the research for his book, Vancouver Island Railroads, a few years earlier, and published in 1973. It would be the first of his many award-winning publications on railway and maritime history, including the most recent Klondike Gold Rush Steamers, a history of Yukon River steam navigation. As head of the historical collections at the Royal BC Museum until 1993, he's now a curator emeritus, Mr. Turner's research, publications, and outreach supported a network of railway museums across Canada. As one grateful academic colleague noted, Bob Turner's research trail is, quote, like exploring in a field full of diamonds. Today, a widely recognized heritage consultant, he shares his expertise across North America, working with historic sites, heritage railway operations, and restoration projects such as the Esamoy National Historic Site in Caswell, BC. Mr. Turner is a fellow of the Royal Canadian Geographical Society and has been honored by the BC Historical Federation, the Canadian Railroad Historical Association, and the Maritime Museum of BC. His prolific and highly accessible written, oral, and photographic work is a powerful reminder that our transportation networks extend beyond mere technology and logistics. They are also systems of human relationships, communities to landscapes, workers to machines, and people to people. Especially in Canada, transportation by rail, land, and sea forms a national narrative that connects east to west, north to south, and the rural to the urban and global. Madam Chancellor, Mr. Turner has made it his life's work to keep the important story of transportation and its many connections alive. For his many enduring contributions to the field of transportation history and heritage, I ask that you now confer upon Robert Turner the degree of Doctors of Law, honoris causa.
Robert Turner, by virtue of the authority vested in me and the Senate of this university, it is my pleasure to hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations. Robert Turner will be hooded by Dr. Elizabeth Ellie, Vice Provost and Associate Vice President, Learning and Teaching, and Mr. Steve Burney, Associate Registrar, Information, Records, Registration, and Student Enrollment.
It is now with pleasure that I call upon Dr. Robert Turner to deliver the convocation address. Dr. Turner. Congratulations to you. Well deserved.
This is a wonderful honor, and I'm very flattered, and I'm so delighted to be here. Chancellor Foreman, President Johnson, all you graduates, faculty, staff at the university, families, friends, anyone I've missed. Thank you, Elder Margaret, the wonderful drummers. And to the pipe band, I can only say I felt my Mackenzie tie tingling. My grandmother was from Loch Carron in the Highlands of Scotland, and I'm sure she heard you It was lovely. And to Dana, thank you so much for your wonderful introduction. I'm really honored to be here for the convocation in the traditional homelands of the Coast Salish peoples. We're in an extraordinary and beautiful region, and a peaceful one, and we're so lucky. A few years ago, my wife Nancy also received an honorary degree from Simon Fraser. Our daughter Sarah, who's here, and her husband Damon both graduated from Simon Fraser. We are all proud of our association with this fine and wonderful institution. To all of you graduates of Simon Fraser's Education and Environment faculties, my sincere congratulations, and from our family as well. There could be no more important or exciting career paths than these disciplines offer to you. Teaching is an honor and a responsibility that our family really cherishes and has for a long time. Nancy has often said, teaching is her joy. Two of our daughters are teachers, Sarah at the University of Concordia University. Molly is a woodworking teacher in a rural school in Colorado. Our other daughter, Kate, a former teacher, is a food systems policy analyst. Two of our sons-in-law, Damon and Julian, are also university teachers and researchers. And our other son-in-law, Kevin, is a recreation specialist. As a museum curator, I've enjoyed developing exhibits and visiting schools throughout British Columbia. It's been just a delight to tell young people and throughout the province about our history. There are so many stories to pass along to new generations, stories that give us a sense of history and of place. Some of the good things we did and some of the things that were not so good. It's all part of our history. And ultimately, there is nothing more fundamental to our survival and the survival of life on Earth than understanding and cherishing our environment. But we have a long way to go, I think, before old-growth forests are valued more than new luxury vehicles and huge homes. We need to value walking lightly on the Earth more than splashing through alpine meadows with a big new pickup truck, like we're shown on TV too often. We need to value songbirds and butterflies and biodiversity more than freeways and shopping malls. And we need to value human dignity and diversity and the right to grow up in peace. This is where you can all make such an important difference. We're facing a crisis of climate change, the extinction of many species. There's much to be done and so little time, but I like to think and I believe that there is enough time. The world needs your talents, your skills, your passions, your curiosity, your laughter, your joys, and your new and better ideas. To paraphrase George Bernard Shaw and more recently Robert Kennedy, dare to dream things that never were and ask, why not? But enjoy your lives. That's really important. I've long loved history and geography and how they help us move ahead while understanding our past. May I encourage you to develop a sense of place and of history. Get to know our beautiful province and country, its many peoples and their cultures, and the plants and animals and other life forms with whom we share this world. Explore Atlin and Kaslo, Ballacoola and Bamfield, Pink Mountain and Princeton, Peace River and the Crow's Nest Pass. Go to other countries and distant lands if you possibly can. Travel gives you a wonderful perspective on the world, and there are absolutely wonderful, caring people everywhere you go. You just need to walk into the countryside, and you'll be invited in for tea in rural China, or in India, or in Pakistan, or in Syria, if the peace is there. Your dreams are very important, and don't let them slip away. I've always loved photography, but I've never been a professional photographer. I have been able to weave it in to just about everything I do, writing books, helping to preserve heritage, creating exhibits in museums, helping Nancy and others with wonderful projects, and simply enjoying life with our family. One of the greatest pleasures that we have had has been to spend time with our elders. And I want to just mention this briefly. We listen carefully as they tell us about their lives, what they did, what they ate, what they enjoyed, what they know about the world around us, what they believed in is important. I've been blessed to have had dozens of teachers over the years with backgrounds as diverse as respected First Nations elders, master shipbuilders, locomotive engineers, coal miners, farmers, shepherds in Inner Mongolia, and scholars and editors and publishers who have shared their knowledge and insights in countless ways. These are very precious gifts. Now I have, just to finish up, a few wishes I have for you. May you think critically and listen carefully. May you never be afraid to say, I was wrong, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, or please tell me what you think, what you know. May you all be blessed with good health, good fortune, and happiness. May each of you create a legacy that helps to make our world a better, safer, fairer, more just, kinder place, where no one is excluded from a fine education, a decent home and diet, or from following their dreams with dignity and respect. May you all walk lightly on the earth. May you plant trees for your great-grandchildren to sit under. I know Elder Margaret likes to sit and be shaded by trees and feel whole because of it. As Ulysses proclaimed in Tennyson's poem, "It is not too late to seek a newer world." I want to thank you very much. I'm flattered and honored and appreciate this very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Turner, and in particular, thank you very much for your wise advice to all of us in terms of ways that we can think about improving our lives and the world around us. You are now an alumni of Simon Fraser University, and as part of convocation, the Alumni Association will present a Simon Fraser University alumni pin to graduates after they leave the stage. Our alumni are incredibly important to us, and we are pleased that this symbolic presentation will launch you on your new role as alumni of SFU. Mr. Patrick Lougheed received a Bachelor of Science in Computing Science in 2004 and received his Master's in Education in 2012. He's also currently the president of the SFU Alumni Association. I invite Patrick to the lectern to bring greetings to the graduates. Patrick.
Thank you, President Johnson, and I want to say good afternoon to SFU's newest alumni. Today, your relationship with this great institution evolves. You're now officially members of SFU's alumni community, a community of change makers, of problem solvers, of leaders, collaborators, and industrious alumni around the globe. Wherever you go, SFU alumni will be cheering you on. Staying connected to SFU provides you with opportunities to learn, to grow, and thrive through local, national, international events, career resources, library services, and many other value-added benefits. On this, you can trust me, I make good use of them. As alumni, you now serve as ambassadors for SFU in your community. Through your journey, you'll also inspire current and future students to dream, to strive for excellence, and to make their own mark on the world. Please stay connected to SFU alumni. We want to hear from you, and we definitely want to have the chance to celebrate your successes. As you cross the stage today and receive your alumni pin, be proud of your accomplishments, and in particular, everything it took to be in this moment. Thank you all for investing your time, your energy, and your talents in this great university. I hope you can join us at the alumni celebration receptions for the Faculty of Education on the south side of the AQ Ponds and the Faculty of Environment on the north side, both of which will be after today's ceremony. Congratulations and welcome to SFU's global community of alumni.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you for your leadership on behalf of the Alumni Association. Before the graduates are presented individually to the Chancellor, Ms. Joanna Fraser, a member of the graduating class, will provide the graduation address. Joanna Fraser has been adopted into the Zawade Enuk family and given the name Nuklam Ala Kimmeth, knowledge holder. In 2017, Joanna was recognized by the Canadian Nurses Association as one of the 150 innovative champions for healthcare for her work in community health on North Vancouver Island. She plans to pursue opportunities that contribute to the well-being of all society. I now am pleased to call upon Ms. Fraser.
Gela Kasla, Nuka Joanna Elizabeth Fraser, Hetman Deligami, Nuk Kamalagame, Gukwalan Lach, Sakwalutan, Gayutan Lach, England, Scotland, and Wales. I introduce myself in Kwakwala, the language of the people where I live, as an act of transformative reconciliation. I do this out of respect for my Indigenous mentors and teachers who have guided me to be here getting this degree today. I'd like to specifically thank Dr. Evelyn Voyager, a Zawat Nehel, elder, knowledge holder, nurse, scholar, and my academic supervisor, Dr. Vicki Kelly. I stand here today with the knowledge and ability to speak my truth because of the gifts you have given me. And I want to acknowledge specifically the Indigenous graduates that are here with us today. I so appreciate that you bring your gifts. Specifically, Debbie Layton Stevens from my student cohort who's graduating with us. She's a Somaliac language reclaimer and educator, and it has been an honor to learn alongside her. I am a child immigrant. My family left East Africa during time of colonial upheaval and moved here when I was 2 years old. Many of the graduates here today come from other countries, or their ancestors do. Some of you speak other languages. We bring knowledge from all around the world, and all our ancestors are celebrating with us today. I have a teaching. This comes from Wikino, people of the land of the Hamatsa. They taught me that no matter who you are or where you come from, we all belong. Yes, the land knows us, no matter where we are, as one. And graduates, you are here because you belong. We belong. So exciting. Yes, with belonging comes privileges and responsibilities, and those responsibilities can feel daunting at a time when the world is in so much need of healing. But look around you. We are not alone. Another teaching. This one is from Paul Willie, Zawat Nehel knowledge holder, who says to me, to all of us, all you have to do is let go of fear and choose love. We, the graduates, are here because we have chosen to be of service to our communities. And that means we have chosen love. When I started this degree at SFU, I would travel down from my home on Quadra Island to stay with my parents in Vancouver. And I would do as I had done many times as a child and crawl into bed with my mom for a morning cup of tea. We were so excited, I was so excited to discuss what I was learning with her. And I learned so much from my parents about my own history and my ancestry. This is the great gift of my education. Learning who I am and where I come from so that I can be of service to my community. And I really want to acknowledge and thank all of the students and faculty in the Culturally Inclusive Place-Based Learning Program. You have become a part of who I am. I also want to acknowledge my mother, Susan Fraser. She left everything behind to come here with a passion for education, and she passed that on to so many people. Her legacy lives on. All 3 of my children are celebrating their convocations this spring, and 2 of them on the very same day as me. I am also a proud mama. So join me, graduates of SFU 2022, in thanking our mothers, our grandmothers, our family, our friends, our teachers, in witnessing and celebrating and supporting us on this incredible journey of transformation. We are ready to take on the privileges and responsibilities afforded to us today because we all belong and we together have chosen love.
Thank you so much, Joanna. Thank you for your words acknowledging where all of us are from, thinking about where we're from. Thank you for your words about service and also love. The members of the graduating class will now be presented to the Chancellor to be admitted en masse to their degrees. Will the graduates please rise if you are able? Madam Chancellor, I present to you those scholars who have filled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of this university and request that you confer upon them the degrees for which they are now recommended.
Thank you, President Johnson. Are you ready? This is the formal part where you move from candidates and graduates to actual graduates. So graduates, by virtue of the authority vested in me and in the Senate of this university, it is my privilege to hereby admit you to your various and several degrees. Congratulations. Please be seated.
The members of the graduating class here in Convocation Mall will now be presented individually to the Chancellor. But first, a few requests for those of you who are in the mall today. Family and friends, we welcome you to applaud, cheer, and share the joy that you have for your graduates as they cross the stage. I'd also encourage the graduands to cheer one another on. I would also ask that you all remain seated, the audience to please remain seated until the conclusion of the ceremony. Today is a special day of celebration. Graduands, after you've crossed the stage, I invite our doctoral graduates to join their colleagues here on the platform, and to all other honored graduates, please return to your seats. And now the moment we've been waiting for. The degrees in the Faculty of Education and the Faculty of Environment will now be presented. Madam Chancellor, I invite the Associate Dean Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies, Dr. Roxanne Panchazzi, to begin the presentation of those who have earned graduate degrees.
Madam Chancellor, the graduates of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Education will now be presented. I invite Dr. Natalie Sinclair, Associate Dean of the Faculty of Education, to join us.
Dr. David Chang, supervised by Dr. Hee-Sun Bai.
The first doctoral degree recipient, Dr. David Chang, is also a recipient of the Dean of Graduate Studies Convocation Medal for Academic Excellence. Dr. Chang lived on an off-grid island for a year, investigating the practices of a land-based way of life. He has received more than $100,000 in funding, and his dissertation is nominated for the Canadian Philosophy of Education Society's Thesis Award and the ProQuest Distinguished Dissertation Award. He continues to research contemplative approaches to environmental education.
Dr. Shiva Hajan Mogadam, supervised by Dr. John Nesbitt.
The second doctoral degree recipient, Dr. Shiva Hajan, is also a recipient of the Dean of Graduate Studies Convocation Medal for Academic Excellence. Dr. Hajan researches discovery learning within simulations. She collaborates with other researchers to develop practical cognitive and metacognitive tools that can be implemented in interactive environments to benefit learners at all levels. Her goal is to advance inquiry tools such as virtual labs, games, simulations, and VR technology to enhance learner-centered knowledge construction. Madam Chancellor, the remaining graduates of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Education will now be presented.
Dr. Carolina Berganzoni, supervised by Dr. Celeste Snober. Dr. Colleen Bernadette Mabin, supervised by Dr. Susan O'Neill. Dr. Jason Tyrone Ford, supervised by Dr. Stephen Campbell. Dr. Canon Gunas, supervised by Dr. Natalie Sinclair. Dr. Solmaz Kodeafal, supervised by Dr. Alan McKinnon.
Dr. Andrea Sator, supervised by Dr. Bullock. Try that again. Dr. Andrea Sator, supervised by Dr. Bullock.
Dr. Bhuvinder Singh Vaid, supervised by Dr. Kevin O'Neill.
Madam Chancellor, the graduates of the degree of Doctor of Education in the Faculty of Education will now be presented.
Dr. Deborah Doreen Layton Stevens, supervised by Dr. Vicki Kelly. Dr. Samuel Chen, supervised by Dr. Milt McLaren. Dr. Susan Jennifer Hampton, supervised by Dr. Rebecca Cox. Dr. Joanna Elizabeth Fraser, supervised by Dr. Vicki Kelly.
Madam Chancellor, the graduate of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Faculty of Environment will now be presented. I invite Dr. Naomi Krogman, Dean of the Faculty of Environment, to join us.
Dr. Samuel Donald Nelson Johnson, supervised by Dr. Sean Cox.
The first doctoral degree recipient, Dr. Thomas Royal, is also a recipient of the Dean of Graduate Studies Convocation Medal for Academic Excellence. Regrettably, he is unable to be present today. We congratulate Dr. Royal on his outstanding achievement. Madam Chancellor, the remaining graduate of the degree of philosophy in the Faculty of Environment will now be presented. We're done? We're masters now, okay. Pardon me, my apologies. Madam Chancellor, the graduates of master's degrees in the Faculty of Education will now be presented. I invite Dr. Natalie Sinclair, Associate Dean of the Faculty of Education, to join us.
Daniel John Cooper. Maria Cristina Lima de Albuquerque Maranhao. Audrey Morin Beaulieu. Millie Elsa Abraham. Julia Anna June Allards Tomalin. Irina Alexieva. Karunisa Ali. Jai Aaron Anthony. Katerina Ann Barduniotis. May Janet Bickley. Gabrielle Colome. Chandra Lee Cosby. Konstantina Kostopoulos. George Kostopoulos. James Curtis. Anna Christina Daneluz. Nicole Alicia Fafanoff. Joanne Claire Gibbons Smith. Carmen Simona Gosner. Gulshan Hajieva. Casey Marie Howard. Juliana Hui. Kevin Martin Jefford. Chantal Christine Jones. Pei Yi Lin. Lisa Darlene Eileen Wu. Linda Edith Magyari. Shannon Valerie Marks. Janaya Kristen McChesney. Margot Lily Miyoshi. Megan E. M. Matashaw. Sunpreet Kaur Murad. Willow Mumford. Daniel Peak. Mary Beth Pearson. Christina Michelle Pohl. Tyler Harrison Poirier. Tina Marie Richardson. Tammy Ray Riley. Melissa Ann Robinson. Gwyneth Ann Roseborough. Cornell Rosu. Ria Krishna Salanga. Neelam Sangera. Darlene Michelle Scar. Amanda Jean Shepp. Nigel Tyson Charles Scott. Annabella Sandra Scutaru. Gurveer Singh Sekon. Haley Nicole Shan. Yasmin Louisa Tayeb. Teresa Vivian Tran. Catherine Ann Truant. Cheryl Lynn Uphill. Corbin Stephan Vanita. Sarah Zealot.
I now acknowledge Thomas Farnham, a Faculty of Education graduate who passed away and is being awarded his master's degree posthumously. Madam Chancellor, the students who have completed the requirements for graduate diplomas in the Faculty of Education will now be presented.
Teresa Moihar Cho. Rachel Grace Corkum. Jennifer Eve Lynn Henshaw. Stephanie Nancy Hjort Olsen. Shannon Paige Hodgins. Monique Ariane Evans. Evan Robert Locke. James Wilfred Martin. Caroline McHugh. Claire Morgan McGuire. Michael David Chandler Ness. Caroline Mary Sibley.
Madam Chancellor, the graduates of master's degrees in the Faculty of Environment will now be presented. I invite Dr. Naomi Krogman, Dean of the Faculty of Environment, to join us.
Brianna Maria Magnuson. Camille L. Owens. Rachel Genevieve Singleton Polster. Julie Ann Kennedy Barr. Basnayake Ralalage Hasini Nimesha Basnayake. Alex Rachel Halboom. Alexander Antonio John Hook. Sarah Marie McBain. Nadia Lynn Wilson Springle. Jamie Lynn Samantha Varney. Caitlin Mackenzie Barrell. Madeline Irene Margaret Bouvier. Kathleen Cathcart. Rory Lee Cleveland. Danielle Jacqueline Marie Ganaway. Azadeh Gaby. Megan Ashley Malfezi. Esmeralda Martinez Bonilla. Pradeep Podell. Varsha Rani. Cheryl Reyes. Rosalind Melissa Wilkin.
Madam Chancellor, I invite the Associate Dean of the Faculty of Education, Dr. Natalie Sinclair, to begin the presentation of students earning undergraduate degrees.
Madam Chancellor, the graduates of bachelor degree in the Faculty of Education will now be presented.
Cassandra Nicole Christensen.
The first graduate, Ms. Cassandra Christensen, is the recipient of the Dean's Convocation Medal of Academic Excellence. During her time at SFU, Cassandra also worked as an elementary art instructor, early childhood educator, and volunteering in elementary schools, gaining valuable experience in applying theory to practice. She plans to continue her academic journey in SFU's professional development program and hopes to one day complete a master's in education. Madam Chancellor, the remaining graduates of bachelor's degrees in the Faculty of Education will now be presented.
Vanessa Figura Agonos. Naima Alam. Heather Michelle Ashley. Asma Jama Awad. Nisha Amandeep Ojla. Sublime Kaur Baines. Laura Marie Baldry. Anastasia Barabanova. Sandrine Barron, Misha Nicole Allen Basarich, Avneet Kaur Basra, Erica Yvonne Patrice Battle, Jenna Lee Dale Baxter, Tisha Bell, Nicole Kiana Bell, Hagar Ben Said, Robert Ray Bennett, Janelle Brittany Berg, Arshner Kaur Bhathi, Emma Trilby Bissett, Adrian Lauren Bloss, Megan Elizabeth Bleasdale, Jillian Ann Blinkhorn, Tessa Noel Bowick, Olivia Susan Bora, Navjot Kaur Brar, Stuart Bush, Sophia Isabel Cadez, Jadida Grace Monte Canas, Jeannie Jennifer Castellanos, Kaylee Ray Chan, Zainab Mahmood Chandal, Lorna Chalangat Chakwani, Hun Seo Cho, Esther Minhei Cho, Jessica Lauren Sikos, Mateo Sino, Natasha Seta Cleary Dulai, Maria Contreras Johnston, Jennifer Mary Cooper, Caitlin Elizabeth Cooper, Melanie Cooper, Lindsay Nicole Craig, Taylor Emma Crowe, Nicole Ruth Cudmore, Alyssa Dahlberg, Courtney Caitlin Diatter, Ariana DeWitt, Ashley Deanna Darari, Samantha Elizabeth Donald, Chanel Constance Edic Ventura, Nikki Espeleta, Xiao Ke Fan, Josh Edward Fornwald, Taylor Elizabeth Forster, Jessica Ann Funk, Andrew Gregory Gallant, Carlene Elizabeth Garcia, Simone Nicole Gaudette, Jasleen Gill. Tammy Leanne Gillis. Elena Marie Glavis. Brooke Roseanne Gosselin. Ivomil Batahoy Gosselin. Santana Marie Grant. Veronica Lynn Grevin. Kailajit Singh Grewal. Priyadeep Kaur Grewal. Matab Haji Mohammad Jafar. Sylvia Helena Halpert Skanderbeg. Kayla Esperanza Hathaway. Kelly Elizabeth Henderson. Emily Alexandra Hernandez. Louise King Sum Ho. Teresa Nu Huang. Chanel Kimberly Horabek. Jessica Olia Howitt. Amy Lenore Hughes. Scott Richard Michael Hughes. Dylan Thomas Humston. Oralee Ishikawa. Rehana Wahida Ishmael. Taylor J. Jackson. Waverly Jang. Alexis Ann Johnston. Georgina Beverly Ann Johnston. Brianne Jones. Taylor Jenna Jung. Robert Bentley Jupp. Stephanie Diana Kallick. Kirandeep Kaur. Allison Elizabeth Keating. Sarah Jane Kepler. Tori Catherine Killeran. Rebecca Kim. Sia Kim. Ye Min Kim. Mariah Louise Kinna. Kayla Leanne Claypack. Monica Kondo. David Yong Hyun Kwan. Gina Kwan. Natalie Kyle. Fiona Saw Shin Lai. Christy Ann Lang. Dominica Christina Lamprecht. Stephanie Ann Langdo. Nancy Annunziata La Rosa. Cara Ruth Lauer. Andre Philippe LeBlanc, Brian Junhua Lee, Hyoryung Sarah Lee, Jessica Marie Lee Young, David James Leonard, Edmund Lung, Si Yu Lee, Victor Hongguang Lee, Lindsay Aaron Lloyd, Meredith Ann Lopez, Rita Jessica Lopez, Amanda Munlum Lowe, Natasha Yu Yan Louis, Stephen William Lucan, Darian Reese Lung, Tamina Lutfi, Nikita Mai Lutik Hata, Darian Lee McKay, Alexandra Justine McPhail, Rachel Louise McPhail, Brandon Jack Ma, Tracy Marno, Alana Iko Martelli, Thorne Henley Matthews, Beth Marie McCaffrey, Sarah Lynn McLean, Lisa Methvin, Patrick Christopher Manassian, Sarah Karen Minty, Arvinder Monga, Rihanna Elizabeth Morden, Paige Hannah Morley, Adriana Marianne Mowat, Victoria Cecilia Francis Miketon, Yun Hua Na, Shayna Janelle Nairn, Karishma Narayan, Milan Yin Ling Nath, Shaylee Paige Newman, Elizabeth Hong Nung Nguyen, Rose Valerie Nguyen, Camille Anise Noel, Abigail Nicole Palmer, Baljit Kaur Soni Panda, Patrick Alexander Pearson, Ashley Mae Penner, Joy Arisgado Penpenia, Daniela Louise Ponte Pereira, Julie Petrie, Mia Isabella Phillips Gronendijk, Megan Kendra Pissner, Kaylee C. Quinn, Danielle Peralta Rabang, Alyssa Joanna Pulhin Ramos. Navjot Randawa. Pavandeep Kaur Randawa. Nicole Ann Elizabeth Randall. Batul Izzat Rayan. Carly Elizabeth Reich. Isabel Marie Almeida Reyes. Kendra Linnell Richardson. Ivy Joyce Aquino Roa. Salome Robert Parimanam. Pravneet Kaur Rupra. Melissa Amy Rossnagel. Katerina Roy. Simran Roycombo. Jacqueline Sabuniha. Stephanie Michelle Sakura Jin Saito. Manpreet Kaur Sandhu. Simran K. Sandhu. Claudia Natalia Santamaria. Dana Marie Scanlon. Michelle Joanne Schechtel. Marissa Faye Jackie Serafini. Samantha Dorothy Sue Chung Hong. Hannah Xia Shang. Zoha Shoaib. Tiana Elizabeth Francesca Singer. Aisha Priya Singh. Ria Sonam Bishan Singh. Rachel Danielle Smith. Ingrid Allison Starling. Elzbieta Maria Stawarska. Caitlin Jeanette Stewart. Samantha Nicole Stewart. Alicia Sarah Summers. Linda Jessie Sutherland. Sahala Tucker. Genevieve Tardif. David Michael Terzis. Paul Sidney Fife Thorburn. Caitlin Townsend. Meng Tzu Tsai. Rajwinder Kaur Uppal. Ken Sirapob Utai Kaifar. Alexandra Norma Christine Van Emmerich. Laura Elizabeth Van Wormeskirchen. Hannah Sophia Gabrielle Vickers. Deandra Alessandra Villela. Christina Anna Vacadlo. Raphael Matilda Vrain. Sydney Danielle Wallin. Nicholas Daniel Walry. Naomi Elizabeth Watson. Monica Rochelle Weatherby. Jacqueline Nicole Weston. Hisham Ahmad Wewala. Hannah Elizabeth Wheatley. Naomi Joanna Whiffen. Anna Claire Autumn Williams. Bethany Lynn Williamson. Lindsay May Wilmshurst. Courtney Emily Diamond Woyton. Alexander Gum Phai Wong. Rachel Yordi. Nicole Alexandra Zabel. Marcus K. Jung. Ranella Geka Pantua Angeles. Christina Julia Badley. Navdeep Kaur Brar. Malaya Elizabeth Greer. Jalissa Macalino de los Santos. Julia Indusil Diaz. Kyla Marie Gumbert. Grace Hahn. Anissa Hashimi. Alexandra Elizabeth Hawker. Xiao Rui Huang. Chelsea Blair Ingram. Sydney Karena Jamie. Amanpreet Jita. Rufeda Karaj. Han Yi Jiang. Si Yoon Kim. Amanda Frances Christensen. Oscar Wang Chun Lam. Katrina Legg. Jin Ming Lee. Elaine Callie Lin. Brittany Ann Marsden. Maya Helena Miljanovich. Logan J. Nelson. Young Sim O. Jasmine Lim Pulses. Erica Jean Therese Tauk Perena. Megan Elizabeth Rubini. Paul Ashley Thomas Jr. Alicia Mae Thorson. Sarah Kennedy Tweedy. Rachel Allison Upton. Olivia Marie Vincelli. Ru Lin Wang. Rachel Alexis Warburton. Michaela Nicole Webb. Madison Grace Wolchik. Kenneth Ka Chun Wang. Xiao Gang Xie. Ya Ting Yang. Olivia Cristina Foitinho Zampronio. Rui Meng Zhang.
Madam Chancellor, the student who has completed the requirement for certificate in the Faculty of Education will now be presented.
Neeraj Sharma.
Madam Chancellor, I invite the Dean of the Faculty of Environment, Dr. Naomi Krogman, to begin the presentation of students earning undergraduate degrees.
Madam Chancellor, the graduates of bachelor's degrees in the Faculty of Environment will now be presented.
Maretta Marlowe Strandberg Salmon.
The first graduand, Ms. Maretta Strandberg Salmon, is the recipient of the Dean's Convocation Medal for Academic Excellence. While studying resource and environmental management and dialogue, Maretta co-founded Ban the Bottle, a project that mobilized SFU to eliminate bottled water and install 168 refill stations. Maretta won several SFU awards for her writing and impact and hopes to continue advancing a sustainable future in her new role as a policy analyst at Environment Canada. Madam Chancellor, the remaining of graduates of bachelor's degrees in the Faculty of Environment will now be presented.
Katie Man-Kay Au. Andrew Donald John Battle. Maya Hazel Ann Blood. Joey Chi. Harpreet Kaur Chauhan. Tyler Cole. Matthew DeSiena. Leo Caesar Chorney Dittmer. Kaylee Marie Farkas. Dakota Terrence Garbett. Reese Allen Peter Gilbert. Benjamin Kenneth Glasgow. Gregory Daniel Hansen. Abbas Hassan. Chris William Inglis. Chun Hong Justin Lau. Yan Ting Lee. Nicolette Pauline Leibold. Y. Long Nicholas Lunn. Nicole Renee Lucier. Zheng Ming. Amber Lane Muckle. Zoe Rianne Muckle. Holly Suzanne O'Neill. Corey Patrick Parks. Krishnil Joshua Ram. Bradley Sarandi. Amanda Nicole Van Hulsen. Chen He Yang. Victor Shan Yin. Nathan John Bradley Zen. Yue Zhang. Madison Adams. Benjamin Hideshi Boulanger. Bradley Chow. Hee Jin Chung. Liana Daniela Dall'Antonia. Haley Alexandra DeLuhi. Hoi Ka Fan. Hui Yi Fu. Montana Alexander Golubov. Amy Natalie Have. Genesius Valian Hartoko. Connor John Holdback. Wen Di Huang. Zhao Rong Huang. Nell Jadrachik. Kasim Kareem Lada. Ka Y Ada Leung. Elise Lindgren. Julian Alex Lutzik. Lissa Fadzai Mandigo. Lainey Rose Martin. Matthew Jared Nelson. Liam Joseph O'Connor. Yulia Pavlova. Amy Pocha. Finley Michael Morehouse Power. Riley Michael Pro. Megan Patricia Ray. Haley Michelle Schonhofer. Ryan William Smith. Anita Yang-Ki So. Carissa Kathleen Sue. Jung Tao. Haley Dawn Traxel. Antoinette Hong Tran. Eric Berglund Vowles. Selena Christine Wadley. Ya Lin Wang. Ryan David Way. Natalie Jane Westervelt. Ricky Yi Chi Wu. Savannah Yan. Zhishuan Yang. Adam Michael Braz. Huang Sam Boy. Elise Joanna Carrolls. Beatrice W.Y. Freda Chi. Kei Yao Jamie Chin. Cheng Yu Chu. Liam Alexander Lawrence Cormack. Lucy Beatrice Marina Dahir Franciscato. Hannah DePies. Yulia Zagova. Nathan Mackenzie Eastman. Tynan Marcus Filtness. Jung Gong. Ezra Isaac Johnson. Patrick Austin Kozak. Danielle Marie Labreche. Lauren Marie Laturnus. Christopher Wing Hung Pan. Matthew Chi Xing Pang. Jasmine Panu. Samina Saki. Min Hao Shi. Sayumi Standen. Sarah Margaret Valley. Ming Kun Wang. Raylene Marie Wilson. Caitlin Tiffany Young. Lan Qing Zhao.
It sometimes pays to have your name at the last of the alphabet. Will the graduating class please rise if you are able? It's a good-looking class. Honored that you are here today, and I congratulate each and every one of you. The completion of a degree is an impressive achievement, and I know they've already cheered once, but here we go again. I encourage your friends, family to communicate their hearty congratulations to you. And for those of you online and in the mall and members of the Platform Party, please join me in applauding the Faculty of Environment, Faculty of Education graduates. now, I invite the members of the graduating class to reciprocate by applauding your family, friends, faculty and staff, and all of those who have helped you reach this goal. The Chancellor and I agree that was the best cheering of the day. Well done.
You can sit if you like. Yeah. That was a pretty good cheer. You earn a little bit of sitting down time. Friends, this completes the formal awarding of degrees. Some graduates recommended by Senate for degrees today are unable to be present here in Convocation Mall, and their names, therefore, have not been read out. I now admit them to the appropriate degrees as shown in the program. Let's congratulate them. Before we depart, I do have several thank yous to express. First, to all of you here and joining us online, thank you so much. It's wonderful to be gathered in celebration of our graduates. And while it looks easy, of course, a ceremony like this, an event like this would not happen without countless hours of volunteer times from faculty, staff, and student volunteers who work together to run an amazing celebratory event for us. Please join me in thanking all of the volunteers who made this possible. Honored graduates, family, and friends, you're now invited to attend your faculty and alumni celebration receptions up near the AQ Pond. We look forward to continuing this celebration. This brings to a close the formal part of this afternoon's convocation, and indeed, this is the last convocation of this session. Please rise if you are able and remain standing at your places as the platform party behind me recedes. Congratulations to all of you. Good afternoon.
No? Congratulations once again to today's graduates. Our ceremony has now come to a close.